Hi, welcome back. Now, I'm sorry it's been a while since my last video. The reason it's been so long is that I've got two Lego shows coming up in the next 2 months, and so I've been busy trying to get some Lego models finished off to display at those shows, and as a result I haven't had the time to do farming that I normally have. Now, one thing I did want to show you guys, I forgot to show you the other week, is when I turned all of my paddocks into potential cow paddocks, so all of them, if you have a look, now have troughs and things, which means they can have animals in them. So of course I've got an open bale shed here. So what I've done is I've put this electric fence, a pigtail fence, which would be electrified, around the barn. So hopefully, I believe that will ensure, when I jump over here, that when I get cows in this paddock, so there's quite a big gap there between the fence and the edge of the barn, so that should, I believe, prevent any cows from chewing through the plastic of the silage bales and chewing on my silage bales. Now, we'll just jump into my tractor here. I'm just weed spraying these paddocks. And I thought I'd tell you a really funny story about something that happened today while we weed spray. Now, to understand the story somewhat, you need to understand that my youngest child, I've got 4 kids, they range in age, the oldest is 29, but my youngest is 13 now. Okay? And yes, there is quite a big gap there between 29 and 13, and the two that are in between are 22 and 20. All I can say is that I've finally worked out what's causing it, so there won't be any more. Anyway, back to the story. So I was at work today, and one of my work colleagues, Ange, who doesn't have a licence, so doesn't drive, mentioned that she needs to go down to the supermarket because she's got just inherited for herself a pet lamb. It's been born rather early. It's still winter here in New Zealand at the moment. Spring hasn't even sprung, so it's still quite cold. And this lamb was born rather early, and its mother rejected it, which is possibly because the other ewes weren't having lambs yet, and it's probably easier for you to get into a mothering mood when there's other ewes around about that are also lambing. But so anyway, the mother rejected this lamb, so Ange has inherited this pet lamb, and she decided that since it's still too cold at the moment for the lamb to be kept outside, it's going to, at least initially, be an inside lamb. And I'd never ever heard of an inside lamb either, but anyway, that's what it's going to be initially at any rate, is an inside lamb. And so she wanted to go down to the supermarket to get some newborn nappies so that she can put nappies on this lamb to stop the whole house from being somewhat wrecked. So I said to her, since she doesn't drive, I said, yep, I'll take you down to the supermarket to get some newborn nappies, that's fine. And when I was at the supermarket, it occurred to me, and I said to Ange, look, knowing my luck, someone who knows my wife, but that I don't recognise, and there's quite a few people like that, you know, different marching girls and things. My wife does a lot of marching and things. So I said, someone's bound to recognise me here, and they're going to say to my wife, I saw your husband down at the supermarket with a woman who I didn't recognise, and they were buying newborn nappies. So I said to Ange, the first thing I'm going to do when I get home tonight is tell my wife all about this, because otherwise I'm going to be in so much trouble if she hears this from someone else. I can just imagine, you know, one of her friends saying, Russell was down at the supermarket with some strange woman and they were buying newborn nappies. So I told my wife all about it when I got home to cover myself. I did say to Anne, because I asked her, I said, if you're going to put a nappy on a lamb, what do you do with the going around the tail? Because obviously a lamb that's only, I think it's a few days old, this one, obviously it would still have its tail and things. You don't normally dock lambs' tails until they're a bit older than that. And she goes, oh, you normally just cut a hole in the nappy and poke the tail through the hole in the nappy. So I said to her, hey, when we get to the supermarket, I dare you to go up to one of the staff members there, say, do you have any of the nappies with the tail holes in them? I thought that'd be quite amusing. We're going to have to go around because I missed a bit of on the side of the trough still, so I'm going to have to go around this side here with the sprayer again, even though most of the bit's been done now. But no, she didn't do that. She didn't feel that that was something that she was willing to do. So I asked for nappies with tails on, with tail holes in them. Anyway, all the story about lambs and lambing does remind me of a rather amusing joke that I'll share with you. So there's this farmer, and he's got 2 rams for servicing the ewes, and he's got 2 paddocks full of ewes. So one of the rams has been around for many, many years. His name's Cecil, and and the other ram is a very, very young ram. In fact, this is the first year he's going to be put out with the ewes. So of course he's really, really excited about this, and his name is Randy. So anyway, since the farmer's got 2 paddocks of ewes to service, he decides to put 1 ram in each paddock. Now Cecil, of course, is an old hand at this, and he's done this many, many years, and to be perfectly honest, the excitement's kind of worn off, so he just sort of wanders around the paddock. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Well, Randy, first year being put out like this to service the ewes, was very, very excited about the prospect of this. Races around his field. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, as you can imagine, Randy finishes his paddock off far, far quicker than Cecil does. So the farmer wants to get the job finished so that he can head down to the pub. So he decides to put Randy in Cecil's paddock just to help finish the second paddock off quicker. Well, you know, Cecil's way too old to get jealous or anything like that, so he just carries on as he was before. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Meanwhile, Randy, of course, is just as excited as he was before. The excitement hasn't dulled down in the slightest for him. So he races around the paddock. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, sir. So yes, that was my joke about lambing. Now, interesting thing when I'm doing the and I'll just come in too close there. When I'm doing the weed spraying like this, because it doesn't actually, you can see where light spots are appearing in the paddock. That's where weeds are already beginning to grow, but they haven't popped through the earth yet, so you can't actually see them yet. That's what the light patches that are appearing there are. But anywhere there's not a light patch, it doesn't actually change the look of the ground at all. So the only way you can really tell where you have already weed sprayed and where you haven't is either looking for the light patches like that, or looking for the tyre tracks in the paddock and trying to be like the boom width of the sprayer there, away from the last lot of tyre tracks. So as you can imagine, without having a definite thing like the soil changing colour or something like that, it's very, very hard to know that you've definitely covered all of the paddock, and sometimes you might miss a bit of a strip and things. So what I generally do here, and this is bought weed spray, that's not, in fact I think you have to buy it in this game. I don't think you can make your own weed kill. Anyway, this is bought weed spray. So what I generally do is I run around the paddock now before the weeds even start growing, or before they pop through the earth at least so you can see them, and give the whole paddock a spray like this. And then at the first growth stage, I go and I check to see if there's any weeds that are popping up that I've missed, that have sort of come through, you know, between rows that I might have missed a wee bit on the tractor or something. So I go through a second time around the paddock, just, oh, I'm out of spray now, just to do a spot spray where needed. So the first spray, this one here, I try and do the whole paddock, and then the second spray, which is at growth stage 1, I just do spot spraying if there's any patches of paddock that I've actually missed. And that's how I do the weed spraying. I know that I could wait until all the weeds have come up through the ground and then use either get them at the very first growth stage outside of the ground and use a weeder, or use the spray then. But of course by that stage you've already got weeds coming through, which would be taking up precious, where you've got a weed growing, you haven't got grass growing, so that means less grass and fewer bales. And to be perfectly honest, it's probably not enough of a difference to really making a difference, but I just prefer to try and get most of the paddock done before the weeds actually come up through the ground and start showing. Yes, back up here. So I always use a front end loader to load the fertiliser from those sacks there, but I don't use the front end loader for the weed kill. I just do it that way by backing up to it. So now back out to that paddock, and we'll finish off that paddock, and I'll call this video done once I finish that paddock there, and I'll probably spray the rest of them off camera. So yeah, for the next 2 months I've got a lot of Lego building to do and Lego repairing and things to do, so the videos for the next until one of the upcoming shows is the middle weekend of September, which I think is about the 12th, 13th from memory, and then the other show is the middle of October, so that's also about the 12th, 13th or 13th, 14th, something like that. Anyway, so until the middle of October, I'm afraid that my farming videos might be a wee bit sporadic and not that, that you might not get regular videos until after the middle of October. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. I've also got less time to watch YouTube videos at the moment, so for anyone who's putting out videos and I'm not commenting on them, I am trying to watch them still, but I might not get a chance to comment depending on where I'm watching them and things. But don't think that I've given up on you. If I normally watch your videos, then I'm still doing my best to try and watch your videos, but it might take me a bit longer to get some of them at the moment because I am quite busy. I think there's only probably 2 more strips of this field. You can quite easily see from this how I can so easily miss bits of a field when I'm doing the weed spraying like this, which is why I come back and do a spot spray at the first growth stage once weeds are coming up through, if there are any that come up through. But this spray here, when I'm doing a bit of a guessed work, will take care of most of the weeds, so most of them won't even begin to grow, and if any do, then it will just be a few spots here and there that will be very easy to take care of later. So I think that's probably about us now. I think that paddock is now done. So move this tractor from here. This hill is rather steep, so the tractor won't get up any decent speed, and this is the next field I'm going to weed spray, but we'll get out and shut that gate. Okay, and we'll call that done for the video, I think, but I will just carry on spraying off camera, and as I said, I will get another video out again when I can, but I apologise in advance if there's a bit of a longer wait than there normally is. Thanks very much. Bye.